prompt is price, apathy, also. That's our prompt today. Little sweater thing. So what I wanted to touch on. Wait, let me fix the volume really quick. It may come across a little loud, but I will be pulling this video back for editing. So the price of apathy is a loss of control, right? And what I want dudes that are aged roughly about 18 to I say 30. I want you to look at your life in a bubble. Just look at your life in a bubble and you're just on the outside of it. And think to yourself if there's ever been a situation in which you just said fuck it. A lot of us have, but then correlate that to the consequences that came from that. And whether or not they're preventable simply based on the fact on whether or not you said fuck it. Like if you would have chose any other option, would have been better for you overall. 9 times out of 10, and honestly, I like to say 10 times out of 10, if you're going about the process of saying fuck it, or in a much more, I guess, concise way, being apathetic towards the situation, just saying I don't care, it doesn't matter, it is what it is, whatever happens, letting the flow of the situation or the current of the situation draw you downstream. The current is now in control. So whether or not that river carries you to a lake with plenty of fish, a bay with salt water, or a fucking waterfall with jagged rocks at the bottom, you careening to your death. That's very indicative of that bucket and apathetic attitude. And what I want you to take a little, again, I'm gonna make these videos very short, very concise. So at best, they'll be about, at the longest, 10 minutes, and at the shortest, probably about five, 6. What I want young people to do, like I said, I was gonna cater this a little bit towards men, but there's actually no purpose in that because this advice can suit both genders well. Take control of your life and the aspects of it that you can control. I'm 32. I was married for 14 years. I'm still in the process of getting divorced. I'm fighting for custody of my kids. I have no connection with my family whatsoever. Like there were a lot of stopgaps that prevented me from actualizing my full potential as a father, as a son, as a brother, even as a cousin, if I can be honest. I sequestered myself so much after I graduated and left college that it created just this immeasurable gap of separation between myself and anybody that I didn't connect with when I was in school. And so when I had children, or I met a woman and I had children, that didn't really move the needle too much. You know, a lot of times in family, whenever someone has a child, there's this big thing, but I didn't want it to be a big thing because I wasn't really, I won't say proud of my family. I just wasn't as accepting. I'm definitely still proud of them, every single one of them, brothers, sisters, everybody that's involved or that was involved, but or I guess involved with my upbringing. But I didn't have that much of attachment. So that familial attachment that I didn't give a fuck about, I was completely apathetic towards, bit me in the ass later on when it came time for that situation between, unfortunately, my ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife and I came to bear itself. It was non-existent. There was no connections for me to lean on. right? There was no basis of understanding or any type of anything that I could reach out to other than the internet and paid help. And paid help is always 50-50, right? So that's my thing. Just not getting too in depth with it because this is gonna be a series of videos um, starting today. But I definitely want y'all to have an understanding that that price that you pay for the connections that you refuse to forge or refuse to repair or bond, along with the apathy you may put towards your pejorative situations, your more negative scenarios that you may find yourself inside of. Those things ultimately end up taking control in your life in a negative fashion. Don't be apathetic towards the things that you can control. That's the message for today. If you can think of anything that you could have just fallen back on, excuse me, hit my mic, and then just taking a step back because it frustrated you so much. If you could just see outside yourself, and this isn't one of those you know, I guess this isn't a red pill video. This isn't a black pill clip. This isn't a pill video. This isn't a therapeutic. This is something just me giving my version of my life experiences to you. And again, in the next video, we'll talk about how that apathy that I exuded essentially fucked me from 2025 to roughly about now. So it's been 7 years of straight poundage. And I don't want young guys. I've ran into a couple young guys that I feel are in my life situation, and they shouldn't be at the age that they're in. They really shouldn't be. They're way too young to have to be dealing with the things that I'm dealing with. You know, uh, custody paperwork and divorce paperwork and visitation and holidays, missed birthdays, missed things squandered simply because of the apathy you may put initially on in the relationship that you were trying to build with, be it the person you created life with, your family, or colleagues and associates. So just keep that in mind, right? Don't be apathetic towards the things that you can control. If you do, then you're just releasing that outcome to a river. That's what you're saying. And some people think that's okay. Some people think to just go with the flow, allow the current to carry you to the destination without really fighting where it's going. I've learned in my experience that more often than not, that river leads to a waterfall. And if you're not prepared with a parachute or some type of, I don't know what survives waterfalls, but you still need a parachute as if you're jumping out of a plane, which is something that you wouldn't do. So why not try to swim to the riverbanks and get out of the current? You feel me? Like, just get yourself to safety. You do not have to go with the flow. Going with the flow releases you to a fate that you have no control over. Right, so it's been about 9 minutes. I try to make these videos very short and concise so we don't push it like, you know, just rapping the same thing over and over again and not getting to the next point. So the next video will be going over, I guess, why the apathy, going more into depth into why that apathy adversely affects your life, not in a positive way. Why the current taking you isn't a good thing, because it isn't. It's not. Letting fate decide when there's other millions, billions of other people on the planet that can exert influence into that is just it's just not a wise decision in my estimation. But I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all take it easy. Run. Signing off. And again, I will edit this video. I will be going to TikTok live here shortly. Everybody knows. I won't say everybody knows. That's very disingenuous. Um, I stream on TikTok and Twitch. Both of those are my main platforms. You can see through my videos that I primarily game, but I do offer interpersonal therapy sessions for people who are going through divorce, young people that are going through divorce. I don't have a preference for young or old, but again, I have much more to learn from someone that's years older than me than I do someone that's slightly younger than me. We all can learn something. And I feel like I can connect a little bit more with the person that's younger than me than the person that's older than me that may hold a little bit different values. So yeah, there's my little plug. But y'all be safe. I will see y'all on TikTok if you happen to